Welcome to the Take 5. I'm here with Andrew Steele. He is an investor at Activent, which is a growth stage venture fund which focuses on commerce and fintech infrastructure. Well, let's get down to the first question. Andrew, could you name a company whose COVID-19 strategy you've been following?
Okay, so a lot of companies have had very interesting structural shifts in their markets with COVID, which has really benefited a number of businesses. I think one interesting company has been Kalia. I've been following closely, just given the massive shift towards sort of serving customers in an online world. That's a really interesting business. Also, a company that's in our portfolio, so a little closer to home, has had a very interesting COVID-specific strategy called TrueWork, which is an identity verification platform. They launched a COVID tracking product, which is helping employers get back to work, and sort of that verification of sort of COVID status is quite closely tied to sort of their secure data infrastructure, and it's a good product to help their employers who are also their clients. So trying to add some value where they can.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then who are some fintech leaders you look up to, and what do you admire about them?
So this one was the one maybe a little outside of the box, but I think Jack Dorsey from Square. Now, I'm not sure how much Jack is involved in all the day-to-day at the moment, but Square's long-term vision as a company has been incredible to watch. I think one of the big things I'm tracking is just how Square Cash is potentially closing the loop on mobile wallet payments. It's a very interesting opportunity where they can connect Square Cash app users to their actual point of sale merchants and no longer need the card rails because they can execute a transaction. So I think whether Jack's been the one leading all of that or not, Square in general and Jack is having built multiple winning companies, it's pretty impressive. So I'd say Jack, and then have to give a shout out to Vishal, who is the CEO of Better in our portfolio, Better Mortgage, just because the business is doing so much to help a lot of Americans actually get access to homeownership, and in a way that's really taken a lot of fees out of the market. So I have a lot of admiration for him and his mission.
Yeah, I know Square has helped a lot of small businesses really get off the ground, and like their ability to be on so many different platforms has opened so many doors.
And it's such a long-term play, which is the exciting part. You know, they're unlocking a lot of things after years of being in business, which is cool.
Yeah, and their commercials are always fun.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Awesome. So, can you describe money to an alien who speaks fluent English?
Well, yeah, I'm glad the alien speaks English. That's a good start.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'd say money is it's a medium of storing and exchanging value. What does that mean? Why is that any different to trading corn or wood? It's that money is much more is fungible in a way that you can transact and multiply its value. So you can use money in a way to like get more leverage and more value out of lending and other types of financial products, which would be very difficult to do with the physical product, which in turn means that our economies can grow much faster. So that's difficult. I don't know how to really answer that question, but it's my best shot.
Yeah, no, I thought it was very helpful. Yeah, it reminded me of when they moved from the gold standard to not gold standard to move the economy faster. Yeah, great. And what's the last book you read that made you rethink your perspective?
Given the audience here, I think Fintech book is a good one to mention, but I read The PayPal Wars recently, which I'm not sure if you've read, but I highly recommend reading it. It's about sort of the foundations and formation of PayPal. Goes into a lot of the history of the business and sort of Elon Musk and the sort of Peter Thiel and then Elon Musk coming in. Well, I think what really resonated, it kind of sort of comes back to that point with Square, is that we saw this world of wallets years and years ago, but it's very difficult to execute on because we didn't have mobile phones in our pockets, computers everywhere. And when you look at other countries, that's actually happened. And in the US, we're a little behind. And it's not to say that it's the right medium, but it's just interesting to look at the historical context of what was being attempted in 1999 and 2000 and what sort of happened today. But hats off to PayPal, still growing like crazy. I think last quarter was one of their best growth quarters. So we'll see what happens there. You know, they got a lot of good things in the in their arsenal.
Yeah, yeah, and especially with so many giant competitors, they've really held in.
Yeah, and they've seeded a lot of good fintech companies, the sort of folks who came out of PayPal, obviously with Max and Affirm and everything, which is cool.
Yeah, yeah, awesome. And last but not least, do you prefer movies or television shows?
That's a great question. So I would say up until about 10 years ago, when the format of television changed, the obvious answer was movies. I think now though it's television, because what's happened is the format is not, you can launch an entire television series through Netflix or any on-demand service, and with it the big actors have come over and it gives you the time to build a really detailed narrative, right? Or really detailed characters. So I think Breaking Bad is the obvious case.
Yeah.
One show. And more recently, it is hard to beat HBO. Like The Wire, I rewatched recently. That teaches you a lot about the economy. And then Succession is just, I mean, it's mind blowing. So
Yeah.
Television's unfortunately my medium, even though I still love plenty of movies.
Yeah. Yeah. I've also loved to see how books being readapted into longer form television shows has just really brought them into a new light. Yeah.
Because the characters become very multidimensional. They can, Wolf's character in Breaking Bad is scary one minute, like, you know, silly.
Family Man the next. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Such a good show. Well, thank you so much, Andrew. Really appreciate the time. If anyone wants to see Andrew's session at FinovateWest, it's called Startup Throwdown. 5 early stage startups will each have 3 minutes to pitch, followed by 2 minutes on feedback from our expert panel of dragons and audience Q&A. So we hope to see you there, and thank you so much.
Thank you.